What's up, YouTube? New Grow here. Today, I want to tell you my story of why I became an advocate for marijuana. Basically, it started when I was a teenager. I was about 14 years old when I was diagnosed with osteosarcoma, which is a bone cancer. Had developed in my right arm. To make a long story short, I had 2 years of chemotherapy. The doctor removed part of my shoulder, not my shoulder, part of my arm, the top of my arm, and my shoulder blade. They first they connected it with a donor bone, but the chemotherapy made the donor bone weak, and I was washing dishes one morning, and the plate snapped, the bone in the plate snapped. So I had to have another surgery, and they put a device on my arm called an Elizarov. Elizarov stretches your bone from one spot to another. So they put a Elizarov on my shoulder. They stretched my bone from the mid part of my arm to the as far as they can up top, and then they connected to my shoulder with a metal plate and 8 screws. So I was, need to say, needless to say, I was in a lot of pain all the time. I still am every day. And I was on a lot of painkillers, Motrin, Tylenol, ibuprofen. Then I got sick and went to the hospital, and a doctor at the hospital couldn't figure out what was wrong with me, so he decided to do something called a spinal tap. During the spinal tap, they stick a needle in your spine to draw fluid off, and when he did it, I don't know if it was his first time or he just didn't know what he was doing. Well, he stuck me like 5 times, and he didn't get no fluid off my spine like he was supposed to. From that day on, not only did I have pain in my shoulder, but I also have pain in my lower back. So then I just started going to the hospital, and they was giving me Norco, and they was giving me so many different type of over-the-counter, not over-the-counter, prescription drugs. When I ran out, I went back to the doctor and got more. And that's how my life was for so many years. And then it got to the point where I was in the bathroom all the time. My stomach, as soon as I ate something, it just went like pretty much right through me. Like I was in the, and when I went to the bathroom, I had problems using the bathroom and everything. And so I remember being about 21, 22, 23 maybe. And my friends, they were younger than me, and they would smoke weed. And they would just be doing it just to, you know, just to get high. And they would be like, man, come on, hit this. And I'd be like, nah, man, you stupid. Y'all seen those commercials? This is your brain on drugs. Any questions? And I would talk about them like, oh, y'all dumb. Y'all killing y'all brain cells. Y'all don't know what y'all doing. But then one day they convinced me to try it. When they convinced me to try it, at first I really didn't feel nothing. And then I was like, whatever. But then after trying it again, like I started noticing a difference. Like my body was feeling better, and I hadn't had no painkillers that day. So I tried it again, and I started noticing like things was different, and weed wasn't legalized by this time, but shortly after they legalized it, and I take that back. Weed was legalized, but I wasn't taking advantage of it. I wasn't going out. I hadn't had a card or anything like that. You know, if I smoked, I would just smoke like randomly from somebody or whatever. I wasn't going out and buying my own weed or nothing. But after I really realized that what the painkillers was doing to me and the effect didn't happen when I had the weed, so I just started smoking weed all the time. And I was feeling better. I wasn't in pain because sometimes I would be bedridden because the painkillers wasn't working, and my body would hurt so much I couldn't walk, and it was crazy. So after that, I just started smoking, and my body started feeling better, and I went out and got me. I had some seeds from some weed I had bought, and I took the seeds and I threw them in the backyard. And one day I came out to the spot where I would smoke at, and I looked and I seen these little plants in the ground, and I'm like, what the heck? What is this? And so I called my homeboy up and I was like, hey man, is this what I think it is? And he's like, yeah man, that's some weed plants growing. You gonna have some big old weed plants. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah. And so it just started growing, and he was telling me like different stuff to do to keep them growing, and I was giving them different stuff and watering them and everything, and they started getting bigger and bigger, and then I was looking up and I was like, damn, these are getting too big. And so they got like real big, and I was like, I started getting nervous because I was like, I don't have no medical marijuana card. I shouldn't be growing this weed. Like the police gonna come. I was getting all paranoid. So I went out, got a medical marijuana card, and from that day on, I started growing. But my plants, they got like maybe 7 feet tall. The gate was only like 5.5. So I had to cut those down. But from that day on, I had the passion to grow. Now, I'm not an expert grower. I have came out with some pretty nice looking plants during different times, but I just, from that day on, I had the passion to grow, and I knew that I can grow my own weed. I ain't got to spend no money on buying weed from people off the street or from a dispensary. So I just started growing, and to the point where I had gave up like several different times. And then I finally got my first harvest. And after I got my first harvest, it wasn't no turning back. And from there on, I'm medical marijuana advocate. We need to legalize this. This is gonna help a lot of people. And the government, they bullshit us because they know that the weed oil, it does something. Because if it didn't, how come they have a patent on it? Sorry for making this video so long. Like please, subscribe please if you haven't already. And that's my story. New Grow out.